Hey guys, it's M, and today we're going to talk about HNK name pronunciations. I know this is one of the most controversial things in HNK. I don't think you get mauled on sight for how you say the names, but it's definitely a problem. Mainly because almost every character has 4 or 5 ways for you to pronounce their name. I've had a few people say my pronunciations are weird, and I've never really had the opportunity to talk to anyone else IRL on how to pronounce these, so I thought it'd be fun to make an extra little video to talk about this. As for 2 quick notes, I'm not going to go over the whole cast because I don't think anyone's really gonna be like, actually, it's not Kenshiro, it's Kenshiro, or anything like that. So I'm just gonna bullet point the ones that people have told me I say funny, or that I'm not sure to pronounce. Second, this video isn't gonna be scripted like most of my others, so don't expect that kind of structure from this one. With that, let's begin. Okay, now it's on to me, actual me, no script. And the first thing I want to mention that I forgot to put in the script in the first part is we're not going to be talking about Fist of the Blue Sky characters, or Soten no Ken as I believe it's called. I don't know how to pronounce any of their names except for Kazumi. That's the only character I know. I haven't seen that show yet, and I really don't know anything about it, so we're not going to be talking about that one today. Maybe some other time. So anyways, on to our first subject, Yuda. You may be saying, oh, I think you say Yuda fine. This is gonna tie into the next name, so that's mainly why I'm going over this. I know some people say Jeddah. I know in one game they said Jeddah, but I'm 90% sure his name's Yuda, and I'm going to say Yuda. And I hope none of you say I'm wrong, because that's the only way I've ever known how to actually say his name, so you're gonna destroy my world if you tell me I'm saying that wrong. But the thing is, Yuda's name is normally spelled with a J, am I right? I think I'm right. I honestly can't remember what it's like in the subtitles, but from every time I remember seeing Yuda's name, it had a J in it. It never had a Y in it, but we still say Yuda. So I'm used to it being like that. So for this next character, which this is the one I got the last comment for, I think. I wasn't able to ask him why my pronunciations made him want to die, but I think he got mad because I say Yuza instead of Juza, which, like I was trying to say with Yuda, that's why I say it like that. Because there's a J in both of their names, but I was like, oh, it's probably the same thing, so I say Yuza. Though I'm 90% sure his name is actually Juza, because that's what I remember Rose saying in the original show. I don't know if anyone calls him Yuza, so I'm gonna try to work on that one. I think that's my fault. I think I'll take the L for that. Next we got Amoeba, which, look, okay, there are only 2 ways I've ever heard this name pronounced. Amoeba and Amoeba. And no one ever talks about this character, so I've really never heard another living human being say his name. And honestly, I can't even remember what the character said, so I've always said Amoeba. I'm ready to take the L on this one if I'm wrong and it's actually Amoeba. I'll take that, but I've really always said Amoeba, like the germ. That's always been his name to me. So if you think I'm wrong, I need you to come in the comments hard for this one, because like, on God, I do not know. There aren't many Amoeba videos on the internet for me to reference off of, okay? Also on the wiki, I don't even think there are any other spellings for his name, so, you know, if you wanted to say something, now is the time. Okay, so next we got Oigar. And I know someone's probably wondering, why are you pointing this one out? You say Oigar fine. Because I think Oigar is the most common way to say his name. Someone can leave it in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm mostly certain you're meant to say Oigar. So the reason I'm pointing this one out for me is because in a lot of my older videos, if you've been following me for a while, I've talked about this character a few times, and I used to say Oligar. And I think some people are probably like, why is he saying that? There's no L in his name. When I first saw him, it was in Lost Paradise where the name shows up on the screen, and for some reason I always thought there was an L and then an I. I have a mental practice of saying Oligar, so even I think in the last video I slipped and said it once, but I know his name's Oigar. It's just a thing I'm used to saying. Also, before we get on to the next character, I have the wiki pulled up. This is where things got weird. This is where it threw me off. So we have Oigar with an I, then we have Oigar with a Y, and I'm like, these are normal, and then there's Oigle, and then there's Wiggle. So I'm hoping those are for other languages that don't pronounce it the same way, you know? Because I've never heard someone say Oigle or Wiggle. And I'm very curious on what the story is or what game called him that. So I hope one of you knows in the comments. This is a major one. This one we need to get ironed out right now, because this one's definitely gonna come into effect in what ifs or whatever I do going forwards. We have Ro. I know someone's like, Ro, what the look. I'm just gonna get into the pronunciations of this name. I've heard Ro and I've heard Raul. I can say either. I usually say Ro though. I feel like it's easier for me. And in the alternate spellings, we have Lao, Rao, Raul with a U, Lao, and Lau, I think that's how you would say that. So y'all have to tell me, because one of those comments clowned me for saying Ro the way I do, and I think I got that from that HNK PS2 game, because I think they say like Ro when he announces them. So y'all can correct me. It might be Raul. We might have to do like a tally. I might have to go on the HNK Reddit and see if they say Raul or Ro. But I'm really interested to see what y'all say about that one, because I've always said Ro. Now we got Mamaya. Look, this is the thing. Those Ro and her are the two when I say them, I'm a little self-conscious because I don't know. This one doesn't have any alternate spellings. It's just the way it's spelled, right? So I've always said Mamaya. That's always how I've said it. And then I've seen the HNK PS2 game, and he says Mamaya. Mamaya. That threw my life off. I've never heard anyone say it like that. And like I said, I haven't really talked to anyone else IRL, so I've never really heard anyone else say her name, and I really don't remember how they say it in the anime either. So this one's just a lost cause. This one I need y'all for, because I say Mamaya. He says Mamaya. And I don't know what's real. Now we got Rin. This one, I don't think this is a problem. I know her name's Rin. Like in the anime, they say Rin, but in a lot of the translations, they say Lin. Sometimes I mess up and I say Lin. If I'm ever talking about that character and I say Lin, that's just a mistake. I don't know why it's in my brain to say that sometimes. It just kind of happens. So this is just an apology ahead of time. Next we have Dagger. This is, if you don't know who Dagger is, it's the goon that Yuda has that Ken slaps around, and that's the funniest clip of the whole show, and you can't tell me otherwise. But this is Dagger. I really don't know how else you would say it. I know in the HNK Legends, it's just spelled Dagger. On the wiki, it's spelled like Dagger. But then I got confused again because I looked down and they say Daggle, and I've never heard that. I think it's the thing where a lot of translations, they made R's L's, so that's why a lot of those are like that, because it's Daggle, Dagale, and Dagarl. That one has me confused because it has an R and a L in it. So I don't know where that one's from, but, you know, y'all are gonna have to tell me about that one, too, because I've always just said Dagger. I don't think this is ever gonna come up in a video. I have no plans of ever talking about this character, but I'm interested to see what y'all think about it. Okay, so here's the next one. Look, I honestly don't know how to say this character's name, and I've been laughed at every time I've said his name, but no one wants to tell me how to say his name. They would rather just laugh at me. So, I say Bulge. Whoa! That's the only way I know how to say it. This part isn't even animated, right? So I haven't even had the chance to hear anyone say his name. So I don't know how you say his name. And, this is the only way I've ever seen to spell it. The other pronunciations are, God help me, I'm trying, right? We got Borage and Borg. I guess you could say that one the way I said the last one too. I think it's Borage. I don't know. This is one of the ones I really need your help with. It's right up there with Mamaya and Ro. And maybe whatever else you find catastrophic on this list I'm talking about. Yeah, I've just said Bulge. Don't laugh at me. God, don't clip this. I don't want clips of me around just saying bolts. But anyway, whatever. Enough of the sus stuff. Let's get on to the next character. Hey guys, this is the next day, who feels like he's about to lose his voice, but there's something very important that I've left out of the video because I forgot to write it down somehow, and it's the biggest name on here. I forgot Souther. I don't know how I did that. That's the one most people clown me for. So normally I say Thouser, because I think that's what he's called in Lost Paradise. So it's muscle memory for me to just call him that. But I know his name is Souther, so I'm trying really hard to say Souther. I think in one video I said both names by accident, but I do know his name is meant to be Souther or Souza. I don't know if people say Souza. They might, I don't know. It is in these pronunciations, one of the four. And then there's Stouther, and I heard someone joke about that one. Do people call him that? Like, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but I've never heard anyone say Thouther. That's just not a thing. And the last one for today is Huey. Now some may be saying, how do you say Huey wrong? I don't say Huey wrong to my knowledge. I don't know how to spell it because every time I talk to someone, they spell it a different way. One of them spells it like Huey, Huey, and then the other one spells it Huey, Hyui, and I think there's another one in there. So I don't know what the canonical way is of spelling it because, you know, when you read the subtitles, I think it's Huey, which I don't think that's right. I doubt they wrote that in Japan. So, you know, y'all are gonna have to tell me about that one. I don't think nothing. That's up to y'all. And those are all the names we have to go over for today. Whether if you loved or hate my pronunciations, I hope we can all walk away just having a good laugh at this. I had to move the sub goal since we passed the last one of 350, so I'm trying to hit 400 subs by the end of the year, so I'd be grateful if you press the sub button. Production on the next video has already started, and I can't wait to see you guys for it. So with that, I've been out, and I'm